afternoon to all of you. If you remember, basically in the previous session, I have explained you the fundamentals of the solar photovoltaic system. That is, how many types of solar photovoltaic systems are there. If you remember, there are two types of solar photovoltaic system. One is the standalone system, and the second one is grid interactive system. And we have also discussed that what is basically the difference between these two systems. Means if you consider the standalone system, in case of standalone system, we have an additional component which is considered as a battery. And second thing, this standalone system is not connected to the grid. But as far as the grid interactive system is concerned, there is no battery provision as far as this system is concerned, but we can connect, means whatever unit generation or whatever power which is being generated, we can directly fed to the grid. Okay. But when we consider the different subsystems of this system, that is either standalone or a grid interactive system, in case of standalone, we have a first major component which we call it as a panel, that is the solar panel. Then there will be a DC to DC converter. Then of course, our all loads are AC loads, so we have to consider some conversion there, and for that we are considering an inverter which converts that input DC signal into its equivalent AC signal. So today we will go slightly into the interior of the panel, because that is the utmost and that is the important component of any type of system, means whether you consider a standalone system or a grid interactive system. What basically this panel consists of and how basically this panel is working, that is important, as we have to consider this one of the major component for both type of system. Now what is a panel? If you consider a solar panel, solar panel consists of the series and parallel combinations of solar cell. What it consists of? It is consisting of series and parallel combination of solar cell. Now solar cell, what is solar cell? Solar cell is nothing but, you must have heard, whenever we are considering any type of electronic or electrical circuits, we have gone through a component which is called as diode, Diode is what basically? Diode is nothing but a PN junction. It is a PN junction. It means it is the combination of P substrate and N substrate. Now what is basically this P substrate and N substrate? Whenever we are manufacturing any type of electrical or electronic gadgets or any component, generally we are dealing with the semiconducting devices, means the components which we can classify as, suppose IGBT, MOSFET, then transistor, FET, then SCR, then we have a diode. So all these components which are used in case of any type of electronic or electrical circuits, they are made up of semiconducting material. Okay. So what is basically semiconducting material? Semiconducting material which we are using are either germanium or silicon. There are other types of semiconducting materials also. Okay. But the most preferable semiconducting material which is used for manufacturing of these components is nothing but germanium and silicon. And out of these two materials, basically the most what you call it as the generalized material which is used for manufacturing is silicon. Why? Because it is available in an abundant way. Okay, that is, this silicon is extracted basically from sand, and we know that basically means we have basically lot of sand reservoirs, and from that easily we can extract this silicon. Okay, so that's why basically this material, that is the silicon, is most commonly used for manufacturing of this type of components such as IGBTs, MOSFET, transistor, FET, SCR and diode. Now when we are extracting this semiconductor, means what is happening here, that when we are extracting this silicon from the sand, we have to see some of the characteristics which are required for manufacturing of these components. Okay, so that is important, that is the study of characteristics as far as the silicon material is concerned. And when we consider, after all, what is happening here, we have to consider the crystal structure. Means you must be already aware about this periodic table, where we have to consider that the atom and nucleus and the electrons revolving around the orbit, okay, and what is the requirement of the orbit. All these basically we are considering as far as the various types of materials are concerned. Okay. So when we are considering this material silicon, the silicon which is consisting in its purest form, means once silicon is extracted from the sand, okay, we have two types of carriers in that, and that carriers are nothing but what? They are either electrons, or the second type of carrier which we are considering, that is holes. There are two types of carriers which we are considering, that is electrons and holes. When we are considering this silicon in its purest form, when we are considering this material, or if we are considering a crystal, in that crystal we have this electron and holes in equal number. The concentration of electrons and holes are equal. Okay, that means the number of electrons are always equal to number of holes as far as the purest silicon is concerned. But what is required, that whenever we are considering these type of components which are used in various types of electrical circuits, we are bothered about flow of current. Flow of current is nothing but what? It is nothing but flow of electrons. And the normal tendency of these carriers, okay, the normal tendency of these carriers is that they will try to recombine with each other. So when you are considering the concentration of holes and electrons equal, then naturally when the recombination is taking place, their existence is not there. Once they have recombined, there will be no electron, no hole, only energy will get dissipated. But as far as current is concerned, we have to basically consider that there should be a flow of electrons. So for that, what we are doing, we are imbalancing this concentration. Means what is happening in one material, what we will do, we will increase the number of electrons, okay, and the holes will be as it is. Means the concentration will be imbalanced. In one type of material, the number of electrons will be very much greater than as compared to number of holes, and in second material we will increase the number of holes as compared to the number of electrons. So that process which is used basically for imbalancing the concentration is basically called as doping. It is called as what? Doping. Doping, we can say that basically to add some impurities in that. Now there are two types of impurities. When you consider these impurities, there are two types of impurities. One is trivalent impurity and the second one is pentavalent impurity. There are two types of impurities, that is trivalent impurities and pentavalent impurities. Now what is basically this impurity? This is also some of the material. Just as silicon, germanium, this is also material, but what is the difference between that? If you consider trivalent impurities, then the materials which are coming under the category of trivalent impurities are such that their outermost orbit has only 3 electrons. And the pentavalent is those impurities which are having 5 valence electrons in their outermost shell. So what is happening means when we are considering trivalent and pentavalent, for example, if I consider or if I add a trivalent into it, okay, a trivalent is basically what? Trivalent is having 3 electrons in their outermost shell. So to complete that orbit, it requires 1 electron. 1 electrons. Okay, so that's why what is happening when it is taking 1 electron, basically it is called as acceptor impurities also. So the work of this trivalent material is that he will accept 1 electron. So when it is accepting 1 electrons, it will leave one hole there. Okay, if you consider the crystal structure of that, then it will leave a hole there. So what is happening when we are using this trivalent impurity, the number of holes starts increasing. The number of holes starts increasing. And if you consider the pentavalent impurity, then the number of electrons get increasing. So that is the reason why we are adding, basically for imbalancing purpose, we are adding trivalent and pentavalent impurity, and from this purest silicon we are making two substrates which are called as P substrate and N substrate. The name basically itself, P stands for holes. We are using a nomenclature, that is P stands for number of holes and N stands for number of electrons. So in case of P substrate, means from this pure silicon का मतलब ये है, basically it is also called as intrinsic semiconductor. It is called as intrinsic semiconductor, and once we have added impurities in that, we call it as extrinsic semiconductor. We call it as extrinsic semiconductor. So and in this, basically the concentration is, as far as P substrate is concerned, the concentration of hole will be very much high as compared to the concentration of electrons. And if I consider N substrate, then in that case, basically the electrons will be very much greater as compared to what? Number of holes. So once we have prepared these two substrates, okay, we are fusing these two substrates. We are fusing these two substrates means we will make a structure like this, which will be consisting of P substrate on one side and N substrate on other side. So this generally we are making when we are manufacturing a diode. Okay, but as far as our concern is, that is how basically we are considering a solar photovoltaic cell. Okay, because once the diode is being considered, the normal behavior of the diode is that when we are applying some external voltage to that diode, okay, whether it may be a forward bias or a reverse bias, according to that there will be a movement of carriers, and based on the movement of carriers, either majority current flows or minority current flows. Okay, so that is basically a different thing, okay, which we are using in our electrical applications. But as far as the solar photovoltaic cell is concerned, what is the difference? That is, solar cell is also a PN junction. It is also a PN junction. But here we have a concept which is called as photoelectric effect. Because what is happening, that with this silicon structure, we are using some fifth group elements, which are basic. What is that fifth group elements? Fifth group elements are basically photoreactive elements. जैसे indium, gallium, arsenide, phosphorus, all these are basically what? Photoreactive elements. Okay, so the solar photovoltaic cell will have a thin layer of that particular what you call it as photoreactive elements, okay, which will be responsible for receiving the number of photons which are detected from the sun rays. Because we are not, for your kind information, we are not concerned about the ultraviolet radiations of the solar energy. We are only concerned about what? The number of photons which are received by our solar cell. There is a difference between ultraviolet radiation and the number of photons. Ultraviolet radiation is responsible for generation of heat. So that is another application, okay, as far as the solar energy is concerned, which is used for heating purpose, okay. Whereas as far as the generation of electricity is concerned, we are basically considering the number of photons, okay, and that photons, when they are incident on this PN substrate, we are able to generate electron hole pairs. Because as I told you that whatever current generation is taking place, it is only due to the flow of electrons. So in this way basically we are considering this solar photovoltaic cell, and again in details means how basically this solar photovoltaic cell is working. Okay, what is the IV characteristic of solar photovoltaic cell, then so considering this IV characteristic, what is the maximum power point which we are considering on that IV characteristic to extract the maximum power from the solar cell or panel. So that basically we will consider in some another session. So thank you very much.